Hello and welcome to another YouTube video. This is iMovie Mac doing a live Skype call with Tasmo Productions about the Google Plus social network. Hello?
Hello, iMovie Mac there.
So what are we going to be talking about today in this video?
So I've got a list of things I'm going to go through. I'm just going to sort of babble on a bit. So first thing we're going to look at is the overall layout, but I should more or less start by saying first that Google Plus is on beta at the moment.
Yeah.
You will need to be invited in. You can't sign up. It's not that easy to do just yet because they're full basically, but you can join via an invite. So
with it being on beta as well, there are bugs that you will see in this video and they will probably be fixed when it actually does come out.
Yes, we're going to go into feedback later on and stuff about Google Plus along them lines. So let's start off with the overall layout. Some of you may be looking at this now thinking, oh, it's Facebook. Yes, it is a very similar layout to Facebook, but in my opinion, it's more like Twitter than it is Facebook, and I will be going on to reasons why I think that.
I think that it really does look like an easier to use version of Facebook with the bonus features of Twitter being in there as well.
Yeah, because you can't the comparison Facebook versus Twitter. You can't do that because they're two completely different things. Yes, they're social networks, but they are completely different.
You've got You've got Facebook being a private social network, while Twitter's more of a public social network. You don't need permission to follow anyone.
Yeah, certainly you can block people on Twitter, of course. I don't want to sort of say anyone can join, but Google Plus I see is sort of on the middle line. It isn't Facebook, it isn't Twitter, but it's sort of both. So yes, that's the overall layout. You'll see we've got along the left-hand side, we've got our Facebook. So, look at me, I'm already starting on Facebook. We've got our profile picture on the top. We've got streams, which we'll be covering later, Sparks, cover later, and chat, cover later. I've got a lot to go through today. In the center, we've got the wall, well, the stream, as Google Plus is calling it, the equivalent of the wall, and of course the stream on Twitter as well. We've got 4 little buttons at the top, which will take us between photos, profiles, and circles. I'll cover later. On the far right, we've got notifications. I don't know if you're following this with your cursor.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's where the notifications is. Of course, they've moved it to the other side because that's completely original. So let's bounce into the circles, which I think, in my opinion, is the main sort of thing that is going to sell Google Plus. So
I really do like this. It's a nice, easy to use way to add people and organize them and keep them in their own circles.
Yeah, so I should probably go into this first. Adding people, you'll see there, find people. You type in their name. If they're on Google Plus, you'll find them. Simple as. And when you do, you have the option to add them into a circle there and then, or they will appear in that list you've got there. But you'll see here, I have a whole bunch of people, and adding a circle is really simple. You just take them and drag them into a circle. You'll notice the circle expands and you can add them into that group.
Yeah.
Simple as. So you can easily remove them, just pull them out and disappear. This is, Facebook does do this. I think they call it groups or something like that. But this is much easier to do.
Yeah.
Facebook, I find very confusing, difficult to navigate around. Circles, very easy to separate people from different people. So you'll see I've got one group for friends, family. These 4 are created by default, with YouTube as being one that I've added custom made. And of course, you can create a new circle just there, give it a name, and add people straight off the bat. Yeah.
I mean, I really do like this. It is a nice, easy version of Facebook, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think what Google Plus did is they looked at Facebook, they looked at Twitter, which of course are the 2 sort of main social networks, combined them, and sort of worked out what needs to be changed to make the best social network and added it into Google Plus.
Yeah, they've taken the best bits.
Yeah. So let's head over to the Sparks. Let's go back to the home page, clicking the home button, and Sparks in the bottom left-hand side there.
This does look really interesting, actually. Like the hashtags on Twitter.
Yeah, I see it. I at first saw it as the hashtags on Twitter, but it's not quite like that. It's more like a search sort of thing. So if you click Sparks now, you'll see featured interests. These are the top interests that have been searched. So you see we've got cycling, fashion, movies, recipes, stuff like that. And you can go ahead and you can search for something. So let's say I wanted to search for keyboards. Okay, so I can type in keyboards and it's going to bring in other website links or latest news related to keyboards. So I've got news about Android keyboards, and other things such as, and you'll notice that these appear on the left hand side here. And if you see something and you think, oh, that's interesting, you click add an interest, it appears there on the bottom left. You see I've got other ones added: iPad, Windows, and Google Plus versus Facebook. Some of the things I am interested in.
This bit's especially like Twitter, I believe.
Yes, I mean I think it's work in progress. It's not finished. Beta, of course. So what we're going to do now is going to bounce over to the profile. So you'll see there in the top sort of main navigation bar, I would call it. You've got the profile button. If you just go ahead and click there.
So as you can see here, we've got posts, where you've got about, where you can see a little bit about the person, photos if they've added any, we'll talk a bit about that later, videos, and plus ones.
Yeah, so let's go into photos. We were just talking about it just then.
Yeah.
So we've got a tab at the top that says photos. This isn't the only way to add photos. You can add them straight into a post. But I think it's best we look at sort of the main sort of photos area.
Okay, so as you can see here, we've got the upload new photos button. If you click that, you can just easily drag an image in. So I'll just take this image of my logo, drag it in.
I'm also going to drag an image in so we can do sort of a side-by-side comparison to see what each person sees.
Yeah. So
I'm just going to go ahead and drag my logo in.
So you can add a caption there. This is again like Facebook.
Don't forget to give it a name. By default, it will be
the date,
the current date. But you can add it to an existing album. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I created an album just earlier on called Nothing Productive. Gives me the option to drop down. Of course, I've only created one album. If you've created seven albums will appear, and you can just click add to album. As it says create, I think they need to change that to add to album to prevent confusion.
On my screen at the moment, I've got a sharing album. I'm creating the picture presentation. You can see here where you can see who can actually see the image. So if you click add, so if I click on YouTube here, people from YouTube and people from my friends can see it.
Of course, going by the circles that we created earlier on.
So if I click share now, as you can see on the posts, you can see my logo.
Okay, so I've just shared mine. And of course you can go into the album itself and preview the pictures. Okay, so I've just gone back to the sort of the main photos pane, and I can see that iMovie Mac's logo has just been uploaded straight there, along with some other images made by Jerry Gonzalez, also known as VV Comphelp VV on YouTube. Of course, on the left we've got sort of different areas where we've uploaded our photos from. So we've got from our circles, which have been uploaded directly on our computer. We've got photos from our phone. So if you've got an Android phone, there is a Google Plus app. You can go and take a photo and upload it using that app. Of course, the iOS app is on the way. Supposedly, if Apple will allow it to join Google Plus.
I do believe the iOS app will come pretty soon.
I'm going to go ahead and sign into chat.
Yeah.
You haven't done this before, have you?
No, not yet.
So you can tell Google Plus which circles can see you. This is all done when you set up. So I'm telling Google Plus that I only want people from friends to see I'm on chat. Brilliant. No. So let's say you're off work, you're pretending to be ill, and you want to go on Google Plus. You want to talk to your family, but you don't want your work employees to know you're on Google Plus. What you can do is you can tell it not to see your work employees as being online. So you can talk to your family without them knowing. And I've just got a message there saying, hello, Tassimo, and he yelled it at me. He also put an exclamation mark at the end. So I'm going to reply, hello. And it comes from in the bottom right, similar to the way Facebook does. And this is the first time I've actually received a message. And this is something new I don't believe you can do in Facebook. You can actually pull the window about, and I can throw it over there, and then I can put my window down here. It really sort of original ideas. Well, not original, but ideas which I think should be in Google Plus.
I mean, something I think about that window is it should have the option to stay on top, maybe.
Yes, I think that's a good idea, and keeping it on top. I haven't seen that yet. It may well be in there, but given this is beta, it may well be added by the time this video is like 3 years old. So one of the main features for me that I thought Google Plus was going to be so successful is this sort of webcam chat in the browser. At first, I didn't believe it. I thought you might have to download like a program and run it, but now it's actually in the browser. We're not going to be demonstrating this today, but it's really easy to do. Just download a plugin, very quick, easy to do. Don't have to toggle anything. It's very simple. Works with Firefox. And are you on Chrome or Safari at the moment?
I'm on Safari at the moment.
Okay, well, we've tested it on Chrome. It does work on Chrome. We did this earlier on. And I'm guessing it will work on Internet Explorer 9. Earlier versions may have difficulty doing this. But you can chat with up to 10 of your friends. And some people were complaining, saying, this is awful. I can't chat with like 20 of my friends, because you may have hundreds of friends. Are you going to chat to all of them? Well, I would love to see someone try have a 10-way conversation on the webcam, because that does happen, because you just end up speaking over each other. And if you may be thinking about business presentations to do with Google Plus, I think you need something more like Skype to do that, something dedicated for it. I mean, social networking, thinking, oh, I need to do millions of pounds of business deals, let's add each other on Google Plus, I'll join your circle. It's not professional enough, not quite there yet, so I think Skype would be the better option for that.
I mean, especially with the fact that you haven't got the privacy settings on Google Plus yet, you would need to go to Skype for business.
Yeah, definitely. This is something I encountered the other day. So yeah, Google Plus really wants to improve. They need to think about privacy. I mean, of course, Facebook had a lot of issue with privacy. I think Google Plus is going to have the same issue. Of course, it is in beta. So with it being beta, there's an easy feedback method in the bottom right. And when you click that, it's going to analyze the page you're on. So when you find a problem, you just click that feedback button. You can highlight where the problem is. So let's say, oh, the problem is it's up here with the Google logo. It says Bing instead. Okay. You can tell it to black out information. So, okay, I don't want you to know my name. I don't want you to see that. I don't want to see that picture. I don't want to see that. And you can just tick through and tell it what you don't want it to see. So, yeah, it's basically a quick look at Google Plus.
Yeah.
A very quick look. It is a big thing. Will it kill Facebook or Twitter? No, it's middle ground. It's not going to kill anything. Will it die? Possibly could happen. I'm not saying anything just as of yet. But of course, it is in beta. We're going to see what Google Plus has to offer in the future.
Yeah, I think it really does all lie in if they get the iOS device permissions.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, when you think about it, how many people have an iPod, an iPhone, or an iPad? I mean, I've got an iPad. iMovie Mac has an iPad and an iPod Touch.
Yeah.
So they are very popular mobile devices. So is Android. Don't get me wrong. But certainly, yes, the iOS app will boost things, but I don't think it will be the main sort of tipping point whether Google Plus will live or die. Of course, Google Plus has attempted social networking in the past. Sorry, Google, not Google Plus. Google has attempted social networking in the past. I think it was Google Wave, I think was one of them, and a few other things. I can't remember the names just right now.
They didn't go so well, did they?
No, I mean, Facebook has been very strong throughout the years. Many have tried and many have fallen.
So basically, to summarise, this is Google Plus. It's in between Facebook and Twitter. It's kind of the middleman here. It's quite good at the moment, still in beta. Make sure you get your friends to invite you to join Google Plus. So this is iMovie Mac doing a Skype call with Tassimo Productions. Quick insight into Google Plus.
So yeah, it's been great speaking to you, iMovie Mac. Glad to hear your opinions on Google Plus.
So make sure.
Of course, go out to check out my website, tassimoproductions.tk. Check out Phil's website, iMovieMac.tk, and have a nice day.
Bye.